Are you looking for the best electric kettles? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best electric kettles on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Balmuda The Kettle. While the Balmuda, maker of our very favorite steam toaster oven, comes in at a similar price point to the Stag EKG, it might be a better choice for those who don't need or want a high-tech option. I think it's similarly pleasing to look at but only has a simple on-off switch. The water also heats up very quickly, in about 2 minutes, both because it doesn't need to hone in on an exact degree like the Stag EKG or the Balmuda and because it's a bit smaller overall. Still, when full, it makes plenty of hot water for a couple of mugs of tea at a time. The speed also means I can simply reheat as needed without worrying about exact temperature hold. The spout pours gently and evenly, it's comfortable to grip, and I particularly enjoy the light on the end of the handle that turns on when your water is heating and off and when it is done. Finally, it has a fitted, rounded base, as opposed to the wider square base of the Stag, so if you have limited counter space, this design choice can make a difference. Number 2. OXO Adjustable Temperature Kettle. For my own daily purposes, using a smaller gooseneck kettle makes the most sense. But for a larger vessel, I tested this OXO and really love it. It's sturdy and well made, which I attribute largely to the glass walls and stainless steel details. Those materials are both more durable, nicer looking, and easier to clean than the cheap plastics of the kettles I associate with dorm rooms. It does have some silicone, but only in thoughtful places like the handle, for comfort, and the base, to ensure you can put it directly down on a surface without causing any damage. The kettle is also the only larger model on this list that allows for precise temperature control. This means you can use it for perfect coffee and tea, but the capacity makes it more versatile for serving other people at the same time as yourself, as well as other forms of cooking. It holds temperature for 30 minutes, too. I appreciate that the glass lets you easily see how much water is inside, and I find the pour spout to produce a clean pour even though it's a larger opening than a gooseneck. Number 3. Cosori Electric Glass Kettle. In testing the Cosori, I found that the spout releases a very steady and controlled stream, especially for having a larger opening. There's no splashing or spilling when I pour. And while I'm partial to the Stag EKG, the larger volume of this one is useful for batching iced tea, as well as cleaning my sink. I fill it up, let the water get piping hot, scrub the stainless interior of my basin with a sponge, and then pour the water out all over it for a sparkling finish. I like that the kettle is made of glass because I can easily see the amount of water inside, and the handle is sturdy and comfortable to hold, too. Strategist Deals editor Sam Daly bought this same model about 8 months ago and has used it nearly every day since. She's appreciative of the quick 2 minutes it takes to heat up. I can literally start the water, grab a tea bag and mug, turn back around, and it's at a good temperature, she says. Number 4. Breville One-Touch Tea Maker. This is a high-tech kettle meant specifically for tea. It brews at custom temperatures depending on leaf type and the preferred flavor strength. The recommendation for the Breville One-Touch comes courtesy of a review written a few years ago by contributor David Schwartz, and when I checked in with him all this time later, he told me he still enthusiastically endorses it. He's been a regular tea drinker his whole life, but the ritual changed for the better when he received this as a gift. What differentiates this from less expensive alternatives is something that almost all run-of-the-mill coffee makers do: it brews automatically, at any time of day, without you having to do anything but pour in the tea, he says. The Breville's piece de resistance is a metal mesh basket that robotically dunks loose leaves in boiled water for the exact steeping time and then removes them, resting above the water's surface to prevent too bitter brews or totally weak sauce. Number 5. Cuisinart CPK17 PerfecTemp Cordless Electric Kettle. If the Breville isn't worth the investment to you, this model comes with a few preset temperatures for different types of teas. Shackett thinks the presets, though simple, are solid. It has a full boil button for black tea, which is also the correct setting for herbal and rooibos teas, a 190-degree button for oolong, a 185 button for white, a 175 button for green, and a 160 button for delicate teas, not to mention a French press setting, too. There's also a keep warm setting, unlike some of the bigger models that automatically shut off and cool down once they're done boiling.